Hello, and welcome to episode 13 of my Better Than Wolves Let's Play. First off, I'll just do a very quick tour outside because I've made a few minor changes. I have a switch on top of this gearbox which can be used to activate or deactivate this redstone wire, which overwrites my turntable. So I can either have this fire stoked by turning that off. Yeah, I've kind of given myself arrows so when the handle's that side it's stoked, when it's that side it's normal, because yeah, depending on what things you've got in here, you know, you might be wanting to rend things or you just might be wanting to cook things like normal. So I have the ability to override the turntable signal just with a flick of a switch, not by ripping off redstone torches. I know this is ugly, but this is my first time with Better Than Wolves, so I'm discovering how you do it, and then I might do a later Let's Play another day and it actually looked pretty. And yeah, I've tidied up this horrific mess I made with that water wheel. I've just tucked it on the side, put a little bit of water in. You can play the Better Than Wolves mod, is alter a file, and it makes it so you can't move source blocks with buckets, and that obviously changes the way you play, because it's not just I'm having my water wheel wherever I want, it's I'm going to build my water wheel wherever I can find water. So, but I'm not. Maybe another day. So now I've got my master switch on this gearbox, so all the power's coming in here and then being routed about. I think I've already talked over the new design of my millstones. It's been a few days since I last made an episode, but yeah, covered a lot of half slabs. Still access the top, but it's nice and tidy. Still got to change that for a hopper. But yeah, the plan for this episode is I'm going to have to set up a new turntable, and I'm going to need to make a lot more hibachis because I want to set up a separate area because I want to build a kiln and get some clay and do some pottery. But before all of that, I'm going to need to just do some old-fashioned mining. So I'm going to go back over to my cave and you know, get some more redstone and iron and everything else I need, because this game does require this mod. Sorry, does. You have to still play the game normally. You need all the normal things you would need. It gives you a reason to go hunting for redstone constantly and stuff like that. I like it. It's good. I'm just going to quickly demonstrate the awesomeness of my nether coal. But I'm being a bit of a douche. What's going to be the quickest way of doing this? That, obviously. So, nether coal is twice as good as your normal coal. And you can produce 4 bits of it from 1 piece of coal. So I should be able to pop in here 64 bits of iron ore, 4 bits of nether coal, and that's the lot. It's done. Bargain. Good stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to go do some exploring, hopefully not die too many times. And when I've got a huge amount of redstone in supplies, maybe I'll grind up my netherrack and make my hellfire dust, because I know it's a bit noisy to do on video with the screaming souls and all that. I shall return and we shall set up a turntable, make some pottery, build the kiln to fire the pottery, and that will be able to lead on to building a crucible, which I can then use to make steel. But we'll just stick to pottery this episode, so I shall be back shortly. See you in a sec. Hi, just a quick update on my mining progress. I've actually stumbled across a dungeon while mining some coal, which is interesting. Sounds like it's just a zombie spawner, but it's still a good find, I guess, because it sounds a bit lame, but I've actually never made an XP farm, so I could always build one of those. But I think it could be just fun to set up a normal, you know, killing pit, but rather than just drown them, which is a bit old school. It'd be fun to experiment using the saw blades, I think, and then I've got never-ending supply of rotten meat to feed my wolves. So yeah, I'm not actually gonna do this now. I'll just, you know, loot the goodies, mine out all the cobblestone, mossy cobblestone. One thing to note actually, in Better Than Wolves, if you mine out all the mossy cobblestone, replace it with normal cobblestone, and then come back later, it will be mossy cobblestone. Mossy cobblestone spreads within like, I don't know, it's like a 5x5 grid or something from the spawner. So it's a renewable, harvestable resource now. So you can farm mossy cobblestone, which is great because it is used in some recipes for better wolves, and it looks cool. So yeah. When I return, I shall, unless I found something else cool, I'll be back at base with redstone and stuff to get ready with the old pottery. See you later. Another quick update. I've finished mining what I want to mine right now, and I've done a bit of work downstairs, so to improve the hellfire dust production. I've ground up a lot of netherrack, as you can see, and I've had a little play down here, made it a bit deeper, and greatly compact my hellfire dust production. So I've got a powered hopper with soul sand in, so it can convert as much ground netherrack into hellfire dust as possible. But I've also got a powered hopper above it, so rather than me standing there bashing Q, I can just chuck in all of these. As you can see, they're all spewing out the bottom of that hopper, being converted into hellfire dust, and then coming into this hopper. So there we go, 4 full stacks done pretty much instantly. I've also built another turntable, and it's powered, so as you can see this is slowly rotating every 4 seconds, and I'm going to come play with some clay in a minute. Well, I suppose I can do that now actually. I've got the clay. As you can hear though, there is a thunderstorm going outside, which is a bit distracting, so I might just go to sleep, because I'm not a fan of lightning really. You know, that's a wooden roof. I know it's raining, but I don't like fire. As you gathered from a previous video with me shitting bricks over a ghast all up in my base. So hopefully we'll come out and it'll be a nice sunny day. Where did I hide my clay? Hid it in here, I think. So what I've done is I've been out and dug up some clay balls using a spade from the bottom of a river, and I've turned them back into clay blocks, obviously by putting them like so. So I've got quite a lot of clay blocks, and now we're going to go get our hands dirty and do a bit of pottery. So we have our turntable, and I've left it on the slowest setting at the moment because I'm new to this. So what happens is, apparently, is you place a clay block on the turntable, and as the turntable slowly rotates, it obviously if you place a clay block and then dig it back up, you end up with lots of clay balls. You want a bare hand to alter the time on this. So that's the fastest. That's every half a second, then every 1 second, every 2, and every 4. So I guess I'll leave it on 1 second ticks, and we're just going to see what happens. I put a clay block on there, and then every time it rotates a full rotation, 4 times I think. Oh, there we go. So now that's changed shape, and that's a crucible. So I could knock that off now, and I have an unfired crucible. But if I leave it, it then turns into a planter. So I could knock that off, and then I'd have an unfired planter. And another. There we go. That is a vase. I can use that as decoration. If I was to knock that off now, then fire it in the kiln. And then last and probably most importantly, that is an urn. If I knock that off now, I'll get an urn. And I think if I leave it, it just turns. So yeah, there we go. So I did get all my clay back. 4 bits of clay all came back. So I didn't lose anything then. So yeah, as it's every time it does a full rotation, a full 4 turns. So on this timer, that's going to take a full 4 seconds. It changes shape from. So we'll do all that again, because this is new to me. We'll do all that again with it on the fastest. So every half a second it does a turn. So every 2 seconds it's going to do a full turn. So every 2 seconds it's going to change from block to crucible. And I'll get a bit of clay back every time. And then it's going to change to a planter. And then it's going to change to a vase. And then an urn. And then it'll just disappear back to a clay block. So there we go. That seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? So now let's actually try make something, shall we? We'll just make one of each, I guess. This is exciting. So, first off, you get a... I should punch it off, I think. Oh, go on, piss off. Yeah. So there we go. I have got a piece of unfired pottery. And to begin with, they're all called unfired pottery. It doesn't distinguish the different items until you finally fire it. Then it becomes something. So that's a crucible, which is important. I'm going to make myself a planter, which is also useful. Oh, there we go. Planter. Let's pop on another bit of clay. And I guess I'll just make a vase, just because I've never done it. So, we'll do it. Once I've made all these items, I'll quickly do a run through on what they're used for. Why they're super duper. So there we go, got a vase. And now I'm going to make an urn. And this urn that I'm about to make, in the future I'm going to have to think of a way of... Well, I'm probably not clever enough to figure out a way to automate the production of urns, but I'm going to be making a lot of them. So, there we go, that's an urn. So, we have... I'll walk away from this just in case you can hear that ticking and it's getting on your nerves. Let's go for a nice view. There you go, lovely windmill, that's soothing, although you can't really see it. But yeah, a crucible. This is a crucible. I have to fire it in a kiln first, so I've got to make myself my kiln. But once fired, this is a crucible, and then this is what you use to smelt your steel. You can also use it to reforge items. So say this iron pickaxe, I could use it till it's about to run out, and I could melt it back down in the kiln and get some iron back, and then make another pickaxe. I've never done it before, so I doubt I would get all 3 back, but I might get 2 back, say, from a virtually destroyed pickaxe, and then one with a bit of iron, and I'm back on full, which is nice, because at the moment there's no way... It seems silly to repair this iron pickaxe, I merge it with another iron pickaxe. I'd rather just, like, add a bit more iron to it, you know? So, by being able to smelt it back down, that seems to kind of make sense. And I think it's also possible, once you've got a crucible, to, like, make smooth stone in it, so you no longer you're having to use up your coal, you just bung in a load of stone, you know, and this is cooking over hibachi, and it just cooks away. And obviously it's like a stewing pot, so you can bung loads in, which is great. So, this is what we need for moving on to steel. Yeah, is our crucible. And obviously this has to be heated by a stoked fire, so I need to make... It only has to be 1 hibachi stoked, but the more you have, the faster it goes, up to 9. So I'll make a 3x3 grid of hibachis, have my kiln in the middle. And that's what that is. Kiln, sorry, crucible. And then the next item I got was a planter. So what this is, you fire it, and it becomes a planter, and then you have to put some... You have it in your crafting thing, and you put a piece of bone meal and some dirt, and then you have a plant pot, and that basically, you can grow anything in it that you could grow above ground normally, but it no longer needs to be near a water source. So it's handy just for when you're building complicated machinery and you want a bit of automated hard planting, you know, a bit of automated farming. You don't have to worry about still having water nearby, or worrying about when you're moving blocks around that the water's going to flow everywhere. And also, plants, stuff growing in a plant pot can never be trampled, so you can just run around on it. So they're quite handy, and they're also useful for growing things down in the nether. Rather than putting dirt in, you can put soul sand, I think, and then grow this scary... You can grow like netherwort plants or something. I don't really know. And then we've also got a vase, and once you fire that, this is mostly for decorative purposes only, really. You can dye it different colours, and you just place it, and it's there on the side pretty. But you can also hide a single item, or I guess maybe a stack of items inside it. And then the only way to retrieve it is to break the vase, because once a vase is placed, it's kind of like glass, you don't get it back. And then probably most importantly, once you put your first crucible, I guess, is the urn. And you'll be making a lot of these, because the way steel works in this game, it's not just steel, it's soul forged steel. So you know, when I'm making my hellfire dust, I'm passing ground netherrack over the soul sand to make hellfire dust. And I guess the lore behind it is, you're kind of, the netherrack's kind of like, it's kind of from hell, isn't it? So you've got all the dead souls in hell, and you're passing the ground up souls over the soul sand, and it kind of sucks the soul out and leaves you a hellfire dust. So if I was to have an urn, which is usually, you know, to hold remains, underneath the hopper that's sucking out the souls from the ground netherrack, it fills the urn with the soul. So I end up with my hellfire dust and an urn filled with a soul, and I can then forge that soul with, like, I guess it must be with iron, and you make soul forged steel. So the steel in this game has got like the souls of the dead in it, which is cool, I guess. So yeah, later on I'll be making, because you need quite a lot of steel to make, say, the new steel armor and the new steel weapons and tools, so you can make like pickaxes that are also spades and faster than diamonds. So there is some quite cool endgame stuff. Although it's only endgame currently. Flower Child is constantly adding to this mod, so there will be, you know, there is only one age of steel now. It's the new age, whereas currently there's like 5 ages of wood, which I'm slowly working my way through now. So there'll be plenty more things to do with steel soon. But yes, priorities now is for me to obviously get my kiln up and running so I can fire this pottery. And to do that, I just need I need a stoked fire, and I also need some good old red bricks, which here we have. Good old red bricks. But I'll just quickly check the time on this video, and it might actually be in the next part, the building of the kiln, or I might be able to squeeze it in the end, a little montage. So, back in a tick. Okay, then we are just coming up to the 17-minute mark, and I am trying to keep these nice, short and sweet now, so they're not as boring and easy for me to edit and upload. So, next episode, I shall make a lot more filaments from my redstone and glow dust, so I can make a lot more hibachis. Obviously, I'm going to have to get a lot of, well, I've just made a lot of hellfire dust that I can convert into the hellfire bars by placing it into a non-stoked stewing pot. Blows up in a stoked stewing pot. Don't do it. I'm not going to try, just in case some ghast appears or something crazy. And then make my hibachi, set up a new fire pit, stoke it with some bellows, you know, on-off mechanical power, do that again. And thinking about it, I might be able to make some sort of multi-story fire. No, that's going to end in tears. But yeah, I'll set up a new fire pit, build the kiln, fire my crucible. I'll build 2 fire pits, so then I can put my crucible to that, and we'll make some steel, and the whole world might end. So, thanks for watching, see you next time.